Okay, so what I want to talk to you about is, the customer is saying, why should I come back? And a lot of you have loyalty systems, some of you don't, but loyalty isn't always just based in a loyalty system, okay? So I suppose over the last number of years, store culture and consumer behaviour has changed so much. And I'm preaching to the choir here. So many of your traditional in-store customers shifted and started purchasing online from you. So many of you had to close your doors during COVID, some of you completely, some of you partially. You were able to sell essential products. That was a big challenge. So many of you started to take the focus off the bricks and mortar, or at least put a greater focus on the online, because the online became such an important tool within your business during that period. And then so many retailers decided to go online, which was fantastic from us, from a consumer point of view. I now have more Irish retailers that I can shop from. But from you as a retailer point of view, there's an awful lot more competition in the market. And the cost of acquisition and the competition in terms of paid acquisition has gone up quite significantly. So it's been a real disruptor over the last number of years. And it's harder and harder to maintain that customer, maintain the revenues that you might have seen during COVID. So I'm looking today at strategies that you can employ through the various different areas, in-store, online, through your social media, that will help you to make that customer sticky and retain them. And I suppose in all of this, it's the small details that matter, and there've been loads of little examples through the day already. And that's why I brought up this lovely lady, Mary here from your local grocery store, because we actually used her last year in a slide as well. And I grew up behind the counter. That was my parents' family business, was a grocery store, and I kind of think back to that and I think, God, they did loyalty and stickiness so well in that traditional business model, because they knew their customer so well, so well, like they knew everything that was going on, whether they should have or not. They knew what their customer really liked. They knew what their customer disliked. They knew that customer liked to read that paper, so I'm going to actually put it aside so that when Johnny comes in this evening, the papers might be sold out and I'd hate to upset him. They packed the bag for the customer with care. In some cases, they might have put the bag out and carried it out for an elderly customer. There was that real sense of customer service. And most importantly as well, there was the chat. The local grocery store was that hub of the communities where people belonged. And I suppose what we're challenging you to do here today is to think about how do we take those traditional strategies, those traditional approaches of the traditional business model, and move that now into a more modern retail environment. Okay, and I suppose what we're talking about here today is looking at the customer life cycle. Obviously, we all want to put as many retailers as possible into that big red box, generating awareness of our business. Some of those retailers then are going to have interest in the lovely products and all the work that's gone into our catalogue. They're going to have interest, they'll have generate a desire, and they'll convert. They'll actually buy online, which is great. But most importantly, we want that customer to come back and repeat purchase. And that's where there's real value for you in your business. And why that's valuable, I suppose, just to show you this graph, and some of you might have seen it before. The green block on the left-hand side is your investment in paid digital advertising. The blue block beside it is the return from that investment. So that's your online revenue. So if you're spending, just keep it simple in terms of the figures, if you're spending €1,000, you want to be generating €5,000 in terms of online revenue. And you might do that month 1, 2, and 3. Then we move to month 4. We're still spending €1,000. We've optimized our paid digital advertising strategies and looked at what's really working. We're now getting 8 times that return. Great. That's from new customers. But what's important here for today is the orange block to the right-hand side of it. That's the revenue that's coming back into your business, because the customer from month 1 who came to you via paid digital advert is now coming back to you in month 4. and they're engaging with you and they're becoming a repeat customer. So how do you do that? It's through that really good customer experience. I had a great experience shopping on that site. I got everything I needed. There was customer service there when I asked for it. I got my product really quickly, and the great email marketing brought me back to the site. So you can see then month 6 to 12, month 12 to 24, that orange block continues to grow. And if you can do that, acquire new customers, but also retain existing customers, now you're building a really solid foundation for a growth strategy. I spoke to a retailer about 12 months ago. We looked at their online revenues. Their online revenues were really, really strong. But when I actually delved deeper into it, the retailer was spending an awful lot of money on customer acquisition. Great, acquiring loads of customers, spending a lot of money on influencers. Okay, brilliant, great strategy. But they were also very promotion driven. Okay, fine. So when we looked at it, because we're so promotion driven, their margin was really low. So while the online revenue figures looked strong, it wasn't very profitable. As that retailer decided, okay, well, I need to pull back now on some of my digital marketing spend, and also need to pull back on some of the promotions I'm doing, then the revenue fell off a cliff. The online revenue fell off a cliff. And why? Because they didn't have the retention strategies in place. They spent loads of money acquiring the customers, but they weren't then harvesting that customer and really engaging with that customer to bring them back again and again and again. And then obviously over time, hopefully reduce that reliance, particularly on paid digital advertising. Okay, so I want to talk to you about some strategies, practical strategies that you can start to employ. So the very first one, and back to our customer profiles, you have them in front of you, and the profiles are great, but you need to look at them now in greater detail and say, okay, well, what are the products that that customer wants to buy? What are the products that that customer wants to buy? And in my online store, do I have those products? And if I don't, why not? And the link between your online store and your buyers is so important for that. Do you have the new on-trend makeup? What that customer wants to buy can change. New trends come on. I think, Paul, you would have spoken about it before, Bellamy Anti-Tan, you would have engaged with that brand when you saw that brand becoming very, very on-trend in the market. The girls spotted it, you engaged with them, bought up lots of supply and built an acquisition strategy around it, but then retained that customer. Air fryers, some of you in the hardware area now, everyone's talking about air fryers. That's what everyone, look at all the influencers, they're all talking about it. Have you got air fryers? But more importantly, have you got them? And are you shouting about it? Are you engaging with it? Are you listening to what's going on out there in society? And are you engaging with your customers on it? So having the products that your customer wants, because that product mix, if you don't have that product mix, then your retention strategies are in vain. You need to have the products that your customer wants, and that is really, really crucial. The next thing is, if you do have the products, make it easy to buy from you. The first point we have here is about the online chat. Martin, you spoke about it, today, and we've heard from Shane and Chatify as well. It's so important, if a customer has a question, that there's somebody there to answer it, and that you can make it easy. If somebody's at the point of making a conversion, and you can engage them, as Martin said, you won't lose the sale. So that's really important. I know myself, I gravitate back to online stores where, in terms of my own purchasing behaviour, online stores that has really rich descriptions, imagery, video, it might be an installation guide, it might be a warranty. If I'm going to buy, a skincare or a new makeup or something, I want to go to a site that has all the description about it, maybe a video tutorial, some images of it. And there's other things as well, really rich experience for me if I'm buying something and I can get the accessories, or you're reminding the customer that, by the way, you're buying this, you're also going to need this and this to get the most out of the product. Now that's a really rich experience for me as a customer. Leaves me with very good taste in my mouth, so I'm going to engage back again with that. And the other point there is subscriptions is another point that we don't have capability on the platform at the moment. We won't talk about it after lunch, but it is a focus for us in 2023. That's a great way of maintaining the stickiness of the customer. If a customer can buy something, and then there's a specific period of time. Later it might be after 30 days or 60 days, their card is charged again and the product is automatically sent out to them. So if there's anything you can do around that, so that, as I said, that's a focus. So we're looking at making that customer journey really rich and keeping the stickiness of the customer. And then your customer is in store, they're online, they're on your social channels. What we need to do now is work really hard to make the online store work hard for your business, both in terms of driving online revenue, but also in terms of driving people in store. So let's think about the customer in store now for a minute, okay? Do you advertise your online store in your physical store? So say I'm standing in your store, I'm looking at a washing machine. And I'm thinking about it. It might be high ticket purchase, might be garden furniture. Okay, I need to think about this. Do I know as a consumer that I can go online later on and actually buy that? We've lots of retailers who've integrated kiosks and tablets into the in-store experience as well. Even just posting up your domain name and making sure that it's available. I suppose Shoe have a great example. Some of you might have been into Shoe store, Shoe, the retailer. When you go in there, you know, within 2 minutes there's somebody standing beside you. If they don't have your size, they have a tablet beside them. You're buying it on the tablet, and they're ensuring that it's delivered to you with free delivery. So use the online store in store and make it work hard for you. QR codes is another one. Have you got a product in store? Say a stove, or again using the example of a washing machine or any product, that wouldn't it be great for a consumer if they could even scan a QR code beside the product in store and link it to your product detail page, and there they could read more description about that product or a technical spec of that product, or maybe even see a video of somebody wearing that product or a video of the product in operation. So make it work harder for you. And QR codes can also be used to capture email addresses as well. Even if you don't want to do it at a product level, you might want to capture an email address. So incentivize people in store to scan a QR code, subscribe to your email database for some incentive or to capture that. We've had the presentation from Gillian. Email is the nuts and bolts of your loyalty. So even if you can capture that in store, that'd be great. And then signposting your social media as well, you know, showcasing that online. And for some of you, the whole experiential element might be an important part of your brand. You know, a hashtag love Steaklums, hashtag, you know, love O'Dwyer's Pharmacy. A hashtag that can make people feel like they're part of your brand and they're part of your community, and that there's that whole shared value. Then let's reverse that. If somebody's at home in the evening, as Ken said, scrolling through your online store, how can you make your online store work harder to drive people into your bricks and mortar? And one of the ways that we can do that is through facilitating in-store stock availability checks on the product detail page, and we have a number of AB Commerce retailers that are doing that now. So this is of value to retailers who would have multiple stores around the country. So you go onto the online store, and I'll show it to you after lunch. You go to the product detail page, you can select and see the stock availability in each of the different stores from the product detail page. You might say, okay, there's only 2 left. Okay, I know it's in stock in that store. I'll actually go in there tomorrow. I'll go in there Saturday and check that out. So making it work harder for you and giving that customer a richer experience. And then we've heard from the services, you know, Martin, you spoke about services that you offer in store. If somebody is online, for them to be able to maybe book some kind of a service that you might be offering in store. It might be anything, mastectomy, bra fitting. I know some of our pharmacies are doing services like that, that you can actually fill out a form and book a service, or at least showcase the services, because you're showcasing the services, as we saw with our impact this morning, it's the reason that some of their retailers actually purchase, because they know that they'll get the maintenance, the support, the backup when they've made the purchase. And then finally, think about video chat as well, and we're seeing a lot of Irish retailers beginning to embrace this. You might have experiences in store, so some of you might have bathroom showrooms in store. So imagine if you could engage on the online store and book a video chat with one of the sales reps from the bathroom department. So I'm at home and I'm thinking about upgrading my bathroom and I don't really know where to start. if I could book that experience and they take me around and walk me around the actual store and show me, now that you've engaged that customer, you have an email address, you have a contact, now that you've engaged the customer, you have a much better chance of converting them. So that's another way of making that work better for you. And then fulfillment. Fulfillment is key to retaining the customer, and we've chatted about it already. Be faster, be better. And the next day delivery, I'm guilty of it myself, but maybe not guilty. It's the fact that I will always gravitate towards the stores where I know I'm going to get next day delivery. We're all time poor. We want something now. It's the nature of us, and TikTok and this whole generation, we don't want to wait, we want it now. So if there's anything you can do to facilitate it, next day delivery, that's advisable. The other one on it as well is making sure you're keeping the customer up to date on where their order is in terms of fulfillment. It's on its way, it's been dispatched, all of that information. Free shipping, again, a great converter to kind of, I know at least when I order from them, they're not going to charge me shipping. It's kind of a no-brainer to go back and feel connected to that store and go back and order from that store. For some people, the extended returns policy, that can be a really nice converter and reason why people engage with you, particularly around peak. And then surprise and delight. So, when you open up the box, do you feel like the person packing the box really valued your custom? Is there a little sweet in there? Is there a little packet of sweets? Is there a nice little promo code? And I want to show you this example from Spotlight Oral Care, which we came across. Beautifully designed, really nice branding, and again, they've used the QR code idea. And what I liked about this was, yes, the promo code idea is great, but this was just very engaging. I was like, oh, cool, what is that? And I immediately wanted to engage with it. So I can scan it, it links me to the site, I can order a toothpaste, put in a discount code, and I'll get a discount off my next toothpaste or my next teeth whitening pen. But it was just a really nice way of engaging the customer post-sale. And that whole unboxing experience, remember when they're at the till, they get that lovely experience, the unboxing experience. How can you make that unboxing experience very positive for the customer? Sustainability, we can't forget about it. We need to think sustainability, and there's no denying sustainability is stylish, and rightly so. And so many of the Gen Z are moving towards brands that are doing something from a sustainable perspective because they feel like they're doing something good to support the environment. So how can we do that? And another good example that we had spotted as a group is, and this is back to the unboxing experience again, this is from Children's Saloon, which is a very, I suppose, a high-end children's fashion brand. And particularly the image on the right-hand side, first of all, there's no plastic, which is great, so from a sustainable point of view. And the opening says, from our family to yours. So leaning on what Gillian showed you earlier on with that really cute email message, this is a parent purchasing a product, and they're getting a communication back from the retailer to say, from our family to yours. They're leaning on the shared values that's important for that customer, and that's what's really important. They understand their customer, they know what's important for them, supporting a family business. You've got the hashtag there as well. It's kind of hard to see it, and as I said, it's plastic free, and you've also got the surprise and delight. Little packet of Haribo, just nice little touch, excellent, sweet treats, who everybody loves them. The next example is if you have to include plastic, and I know some of you do, if it is recycled, at least tell them it's recycled. And it's the example from Next. So this bag is made from 100% recycled plastic. Please recycle me. So do think about that. Think about what's going into the box. If you have to do plastic, at least, can we tell them it's recycled plastic? And can we remove the plastic altogether? And we'll talk about that again maybe later on. Another example from Sculpted by Amy, the makeup industry and the makeup that Amy sells obviously comes in a hard plastic container, so it's kind of difficult to manage sustainability. And I suppose a lot of you are dealing in pharmacies, so there's lots and lots of packaging. So there's nothing Amy can do about that, but she is offsetting the impact in that she's asking people to collect their 5 empties, return them to the company, and at least she's offsetting it. So what can you do to be proactive and at least, give a nod to people that this is important to you. I also spotted in the Irish Pharmacy News, some of you might have spotted it during the week, that Boots have started a Recycle with Boots scheme. So there's an app, so you can scan to recycle is the name of the app. You can scan the barcode of any product, even products that aren't sold in Boots, and return them then to a Boots store. All products that are made of hard plastic that are difficult to recycle. So just thought it was another nice example of, particularly in the pharmacy, because I appreciate it's tricky, another really nice example of how somebody's offsetting the impact. And customer service, we've talked about it earlier again. Superior customer service is key, and wrapping your arms around the customer. And we're all human, and issues occur, and the 1-star ratings happen. But it's how you respond to those 1-star ratings, and how you turn those 1-star ratings into a 5. And it's very possible, and we've seen a lot of our retailers do it, and it really has a big impact. So many people are engaging with Trustpilot, and they're seeing that. And if the 1-star rating happens, they appreciate it because they can see the thread of how it's actually been resolved. So do signpost that. And then post-sale, we've talked about the email marketing. It's the hub. You've got an email address, you've got somebody who might have purchased from you, but at least they've opted in. How do you now harvest and mine that customer base with your scheduled emails and then your automated flows as well? How do you promote the services to bring a customer back, the other services that might make them come back and order from you again? Is there things, can you still surprise and delight them, not just in the unpacking process, but also, can you engage with them on their birthday? Can you still surprise them and make them feel like they're really part of your business? And then maybe it's just a VIP club. So many of our retailers engaging with customers on their subscriber email address saying, look, we're going to run the sale, here's your promo code, early access to the sale. And it's just a nice little touch for customers. So lots of ideas there about the post-sale, how to bring the customers back. Okay, so they're all ideas that you can put in outside of your official loyalty system. But just to say to you as well, that AB Commerce is integrated with 2 official loyalty systems. One is Aspiral, and the other is Yotpo. And just briefly, Aspiral is a very traditional points-based loyalty system. You can make purchases in store and redeem purchases in store, make purchases online and redeem points online, and the whole system is connected up. So that's your traditional points-based loyalty system. And I suppose then Yotpo is a little bit more of a next generation loyalty system, and it offers a number of different areas. It offers loyalty and referrals, but also product and service reviews, and then user-generated content, okay? So just to kind of show you examples of that. So the first panel on the left-hand side, you'll see where somebody is just actually redeeming points, your traditional redeeming points. But on the second point, see this whole idea of a referral, that if you refer the business to somebody else and they engage and they make a purchase, now that person is going to actually receive a reward for that referral, which is just a nice touch as well. So reaching out to like-minded shoppers and using that loyal customer base that you have to be your influencers and acquire new customers for you. And finally then, the review element of that as well. So I know some of you are using Trustpilot, just to say there's a review, product and service review capability with Yotpo, and also the ability for customers to tag, and this is what I said, hashtag, tag up themselves wearing a product, and that can feed actually into your online store as well.